set up here. I just got back from vacation yesterday. So just making sure I'm in frame here. Set up here. I just got back from vacation. Okay, and I've got my link up, so if anyone who's watching, if you can tell me if it looks clear and if I'm in the center. Let's give it a few minutes, or maybe a minute. Okay, it looks like I've got 3 watching. Salty Girl says looks good. I don't know who that is. Viviana and Gail, good morning. Thanks for being here. I know it's the holiday for some, so happy Easter to those that celebrate. Jana, clear and oriented, excellent. All right. So today I'm going to teach a tea light. Here's my example. This is like a terrible stone. I bought this on Etsy like sometime last year from someone, and these are awful. So, but it's good for practice. But I found a nice clean stone. I can't remember if I did it or if Demi's dad did it, but this one's much nicer. So for our final design. The other thing I tried to do, which we won't be able to do in class, is to do like a concentric ring of dots on the bottom. So I might do the guidelines for that just so I can keep it straight. But of course, since the top's going to be wet, we won't be able to do this part in class. But optional, additional thing you can do once your tea light is dry. Oh, Carmen's here. Christy's here. Shweta's here. Oh, Salty Girl, it's Nancy. Oh, now I know. Okay, good. Okay, so we have quite a few things to do. We're gonna guideline our tea light, and we're gonna mix a gradient. I actually already had my metallic, the pink shift in here, so I just didn't want to waste a new paint pot, and I've just numbered them 1 through 5. So 1 through 5 will be our main colors, and then we'll mix our colors first, and then we'll do the guide marks, and then we'll paint. How is everyone today? Sorry, I feel a little disorganized. I'm going to move this out of the way so I can just focus on the mixing. So we've got coral shell. This one I got at Michael's, but I don't know, I didn't see it anywhere else. So any kind of light melon would work, any light kind of orangey pink. And then cactus flower, which I know Demi used recently on the mirror. And then royal fuchsia. So basically you just want 3 shades of pink. These two lean a little bit more orangey, like peachy pink. This one is just a dark pink, and it will kind of darken these colors for us. So I think when I did the original tea light, and this paint is super watery, so we'll see how it looks. Originally when I had done the design, I even lightened this up and I used 6 colors, but I didn't need 6 colors for this little tea light, so we're just gonna go with 5. So we'll start with the coral shell, the lightest color, and we'll put it, I'm gonna put it in pots 1, 2, and a little bit in 3. And this is just my like easy gradient, not too hard. So this one's pretty full. It's like a stepwise. So this has the most, this has a middle amount, and this has the least amount of that coral shell. Salty Girl, Nancy. Looks like you had a great vacation. I did. It was really nice. It's always nice to get away. So now I'm going to put cactus flower in 3 and in 2. So 2 is about half and half, both the colors. And then I'm going to put some in 4. So right now I have just coral shell. In 2 I have half and half coral shell and cactus flower. In 3 I have cactus flower with a drop of coral shell. And then I have the cactus flower. Sorry, everyone tells me to go too fast with paint mixing, but I'm going to try to repeat it. And then I'll go with our royal fuchsia. We'll put that in. Oh, it's not mixed. It's better. So royal fuchsia in here, and then some in here and a drop in there. So again, it's like the coral shell backwards. So this is full of, this is pot 5 full of royal fuchsia. This is about half and half cactus flower and royal fuchsia. And then I just put a drop of the royal fuchsia in here. And then we'll mix and see what it looks like. Yeah, we got home a lot later than I thought. My daughter was having trouble with all the elevation, like up and down. So her ears were hurting and she couldn't pop them. I just had to stop because she was just freaking out. Poor girl. And I don't know if anyone lives in elevation, but taking my paints up and down. So first it exploded for sure when I opened them at first there. They also felt more watery, and I don't have an explanation for that. They still are, so maybe they just are watery colors. So I'm just mixing. I'm just going to see how the gradient looks. Yeah, looks pretty good. It's different than my original. Then I'll probably just put more of the pink flash in my accent. I don't know, do any of you use these flash paints, these color shift? I use them all the time. I really love them. Hi, Bree. Yeah, I would have thought they would dry out too. But I guess it's really dry here where I live in Southern California, so I don't know. It just felt super watery. All right, so I'm gonna start the guide marks here. Just looking if I want to tweak it at all. I might want to add just a little bit more pink to color number 2. Yeah, this is a more peachy pink gradient. So it's fun, just different than my original. I think for my original, I added some white here and used less of the coral shell, so it wasn't quite as orangey. But I think it's pretty. Oh, hi, Demi. Happy Easter. Hi, Sandy. Good, we have 14. I'm impressed. Okay. I'm actually gonna leave my paints open here so they dry out. Just, I don't know if they're super watery. So our guide marks, I'm gonna do a 6-point guide mark today. And it just allows you to get bigger brush strokes. If I was doing like more of a dot, kind of tighter pattern, I'd choose like 8 or 16. But when I'm trying to go for bigger brush stroke patterns, I like more room. So I'm gonna do a 6. So I'm going to use this thing, I think from Devin Dotting. I don't know, Yoli gave me like 2 of these. She's like, I don't paint tea lights, so. So she gave me hers. And I'm just going to get my compass set here. I broke my, or I didn't break it, but I thought I broke my sharpener, which I was really sad about. So that was what I was doing right before I logged on. I was trying to troubleshoot that. Oh, so like I said, I'm going to do the bottom guide marks first. So I have my little cork that I always put at the bottom. I'm going to trace it. So what happened on my original tea light when I did those dots was all of my brush strokes didn't end at the same spot, and I just didn't do my guide marks far enough. So I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to make some guide marks out here just so I'm not, so I'm starting at the same spot. It'll just make it look better. And this is totally optional, but I thought it would be fun to add a bottom to the tea light. Okay, so I just did kind of random. When I'm doing rings of dots, it doesn't need to be perfect, just a guide, so I know where to stop. Okay, now we'll do our usual guide marks. So I'm going to use my 12-point stencil here. And one other thing I thought about, if you have the Happy Dotting Company like logo, I would try to line it up. I don't know why this annoyed me that my like design is here, but the letters are here. I don't know. It's like a stupid little thing, but this one I must not have done because there's no words here. So it doesn't matter for me. So what I'm gonna do is use this guy for finding the center. And I'm gonna line up my stencil with that. And then what I do is I just check to make sure that it looks like these inner guide marks are right, like just inside the opening. And then I'm gonna mark on either side here, or every mark actually. I'll do all 12. Sorry, I feel like I'm going slowly. My husband took my daughter about an hour away to watch one of her friends in a horse show. So my son is babysitting Lakshmi. Hopefully that goes okay. He's usually pretty good at it. Okay, so we've got our 12-point. Now I like my flexible stencil, or ruler, my sewing ruler here. You can use whatever. You could like extend it just with the flat stencil, but I find that this goes around the curve just nicer. Go. Does anyone have Easter plans? I don't celebrate Easter, but my parents are coming today, so it's kind of like we'll have like family gathering. The kids are so excited. I'm excited. They're super helpful. I have like a couple calls this week, and my husband's going out of town this weekend, so it's just nice to have their help. They live in Pennsylvania, so it's not easy for them to come often. Nancy, we don't celebrate. My husband's on a business trip. Well, it's good. You get to have a paint date all to yourself. And my husband's going on a business trip to Chicago this weekend. Business, so is it all week? Is he gone all week or just a few days? Yeah, we had an amazing time in Arizona. Actually, had never, I don't know, I went to the Grand Canyon once when I was a kid. And then the next time I went to Arizona was like 3 years ago on a girls' trip. And I loved it. I had such a good time. I love the saguaro cacti, as many of you know. I don't know, I just fell in love with it. And then we went back for the retreat just now, like last month. And then we planned this Grand Canyon trip. And that was really great. And I'm actually going back for a girls' weekend in September to Arizona. So it's like become my little vacation home or vacation spot. Oh, Nancy travels 90% of the time. Is that hard? I don't know. It's funny, ever since COVID, my husband's working from home more. And sometimes I get annoyed. Like, I used to have like time to myself. Okay, I'm marking 1/4-inch guide marks here. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's such a small tea light. I sort of wish I had done a bigger one. I actually had one prepped, but here we are. I'm gonna move this down just a little because I'm running into my phone stand with this big compass. Oh yeah, so I was saying I get a little annoyed sometimes that I don't have my alone time. Like if I have every Wednesday off, so that was my day to get stuff done. And now he's like, do you want to have lunch? Do you want to talk? I'm like, no, I have things to do. And Viviana is heading home from visiting the grandbaby and daughter in Tennessee. Do you fly, Viviana, or do you drive? I think Yoli's in Tennessee right now. She loves it. She's gonna move there one day. Okay, I'm gonna try to do one more guide mark here. Let's see. It's like just about a 1/4-inch. Just like I said, to keep my brush strokes the same. I had trouble with that on my original design. Okay, so we've got our guide marks here. 12 point and then 1/4-inch circular guide marks. I'm actually going to make one more, sorry, closer to this center because I'm going to do just one ring of dots and just to try to keep it as even as possible. There. So just one extra kind of halfway through. Here. Okay, I can move this back up. All right, so this is going to be super bright. This is much brighter than my original, but I kind of like it. I'm going to use the blue 2.5 millimeter tool, and we'll just make a ring of dots right around the opening. Yeah, I bet it was hard when the kids were little. Viviana, 12 hours in 2 days. Yeah. So we just did that Arizona drive and we did it in 1 day, both times. And it's 8 hours. Like if it was just me and my husband, but with the kids, it's like 10, maybe more. So we have to stop. Yeah, this is so much brighter. I don't know what I did differently, but it's okay. So if you are looking at your palette and it's too bright, and you want kind of a more muted, like dusty, you could add like a touch of gray to each color. But I'll probably just top dot these. This will just be kind of another accent, this lightish. Oh, and I'm using color 1. I'm sorry. I'm out of practice. Okay. Jana Yoli lives in, I'll have to let her know. Surprised there are no dotting buddies in Tennessee. That's Jana. Nashville's super fun. When did we go? I think it was 2 years ago. We did like a smoky, oh yeah, it was 2 years after my sister got married. We did the Smoky Mountains and then Nashville. Oh, Viviana, you love the palette. I'm glad. I was trying to think of new things. I do kind of gravitate towards my favorites. I was talking to someone the other day. She was like, oh, when are you going to do like a blue purple again? I was like, I'm in my sunset era. I'm doing every iteration of sunset. The bright one, the muted one. Just have phases. Viviana said Nashville has grown. Jana said I'm cultivating a dotting buddy. That's funny. Cultivating. I tried to teach my work friends, but they were too impatient. I need someone who can just relax and paint. Okay, last dot. I'm gonna clean off my tool. So if this was a bigger tea light, I'd probably do a couple of rings of dots. But since it's small, we're just gonna go straight into the brush strokes. And how cute is this? My little gem holder is one of Lakshmi's teacups from her kitchen. She said I could borrow it. Sometimes she gets sad when things of hers are on my desk, but this one she let me have. So I'm just going to use my putty here. And we'll put these on every other guide mark. Janice and Vivian are talking about Nashville growth. These are like just kind of over the edge. And these are Demi's rhinestones, the light pink, I think. So one thing is that they do on this super curvy surface, they kind of poke out. So I'm just making sure they're in far enough that they're not going to be super pokey. Like if you were to try to put them on this part of the curve that's much curvier, you'd have like both ends kind of off the piece. So I'm getting pretty close to my ring of dots here. Oh, love that center, Gail. Yes. So actually, I did. I used the pink flash in both of these tea lights for the center. But this one I had painted this like ugly purple. And I just had this idea that I was going to make this purple tea light. And it's been sitting on my desk for literally 6 months. And I just was like, forget it. I'm never going to paint it. I just couldn't pick a palette that worked. So in short, this was purple yesterday, and now it's black. So I painted the inside, and it actually turned out super pretty on the purple, because the pink flash is kind of a little transparent. So this was on white, and it looks more pink, and on here it looks more purpley. Yeah, so if you wanted exactly how I did, paint it purple and then paint it over. But just the pink flash alone is really pretty. Yeah, actually this one, the one I painted was blue. So I don't know, I had this idea that I was going to make these colorful background tea lights. And I never did it, so back to my favorite black. Okay, oh, these are so pretty, and I love it because the flash, you know, changes color, and these rhinestones change color, so it matches perfectly with that. So basically, the tips of my rhinestones are right on that 1 2/3 guide mark here, just making sure they're all even. Okay, perfect. And now I'm actually gonna go back to 1, I think, so I have enough color. And I'm gonna do the walking the dots. And what did I do here? Oh, I did a little, okay, so for our Nouveaux, I told you guys shimmering rose, so definitely can use that. If you guys are like me and have them all, you can kind of play around. This is seashell pink, and this is heritage rose. This one works more better if you choose like a muted palette, so I'm gonna go with the shimmering rose, but lots of options. Or you could do white. I think Demi had posted that you can just use white accents, and I think that would be pretty. So what I'm going to do is make a little teardrop at the top of each, maybe. I don't know if this suffered from the travel. Let's see. Now I forgot to bring Q-tips on vacation, so I had to like make do on any mistakes. So just make a little teardrop here. You can see. We'll do that on the top of each of these. And they're about 1 guide mark high. Consistency is a little bit weird. I really think it was the elevation. I'm gonna blame it on. Jana and Vivian are gonna meet up next time. That sounds fun. To decide what I'm gonna paint next, just I don't think I have any like big orders or anything. Sandy is here, actually won a custom from me at the retreat, and she picked a pretty beach palette, and we're gonna do it on a sun, which I've only done 1 sun or 2 suns that were not black background, so we're gonna do like a beachy theme. I'm excited to play around with that. My 16-inch sun, I think, comes on Monday or tomorrow. Okay, so now I'm going to use the 1.5 tool and that same number 1 color. I'm just going to come down and walk the dots. So once that comes, that'll be a project. Sandy, I can't wait to see it. Me too. I'm glad you have faith in me. I might have to paint something small first. It's not my usual to color paint with the light backgrounds, but I do want to do more of that. I hear my daughter calling for my son. Hopefully he hears her. Of course she has faith. Aww. I did a beachy palette, I don't know, one of my infinity patterns, I feel like, a long time ago. Okay, we're getting a slow start, I know, but I'll get to the brush stroke soon. Happy to be your guinea pig. Thanks, Sandy. I'm sure I'll love it once it's done, but I always get nervous trying something new. Okay, so now we're gonna do a brush stroke coming, and I was able to fit 2, so we'll see. But I'm gonna go from the inside out, and these are my least favorite to do. I actually have, you know, I'm lucky, and I have Demi's prototype brushes. I'm just gonna try it here. I'll stick with her usual liner brushes because I know we don't have those yet. But I wonder if that's gonna be easier, because I had trouble. So I did it this way where I paint away from me, but it's really hard to see the tip, so it's hard to see where you end when you're sitting down. So I'm gonna try to do it how everyone else does it and paint towards me. But I think with the longer brushes, I just have more trouble. So I think once she gets her shorter brushes, I wonder if anyone's like me and has trouble will like that. Okay, so we're gonna go with color number 2. And just gonna try to find the right angle here. And I ended about 1 more guide mark higher. I'm always so messy this way. These curves are hard. Well, they're not even, but I usually get better by the 6th one. I was trying different angles here for my hand. Do you guys have trouble with these strokes? Go. But we're gonna top swoosh them. They're gonna look better. Sorry, I'm super focused. I don't like painting this direction. That one's pretty good. Yeah, Viviana's shorter brush. Yeah, totally. So we're excited, Demi. It's doable, but it's not as enjoyable with the longer brush for me. I feel like Demi can do any stroke with these longer brushes. I'm using the 3/0, sorry, I forgot to say, but I always tell myself I just need to practice doing the strokes the opposite direction more. I'm sure I'll get more comfortable, but it's just awkward, and I just get frustrated. Just popping some bubbles. Oh yeah, Demi is. I actually have them. She's these are just her first set that only has 3, but her new set will have, I think, 4. They're white and they're pretty. But I don't want to use them yet until everyone has them. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna do so we'll do another set of walking the dots here. And I actually did another one of these little teardrops, but I think I don't need another one. So I'm just gonna do a big dot with the 2.5 tool, and we'll just move along in the gradient here. So I'm gonna use color number 3, and I'm gonna tilt it just a little so maybe you can see better, but I'm gonna do a dot at the top, and then walk the dots down. These I call demi dots. This helps fill the space of the petal nicely. Yeah, I think she was hoping that they'd be out soon, but they just weren't ready. Ooh. Precarious holding this. So still in color number 3, and we're doing our walking the dots. Just looks like a flower. I prepped one more tea light. I thought I'd do in the same palette later today. Maybe a different design. These tea lights are so heavy. They don't look much bigger than the 4-inch stone, but they're so much heavier. I love the teardrops. Do you mean at the top of the rhinestone? They are cute. Yeah, I did 2, but I think it's gonna make it too pointed for my next brushstroke to do another teardrop, because then I'd have to end my brushstroke way low, which will be hard. So for this one, just did a dot. But if you are lower than me and want to do another teardrop, you can. We have 15 people. I'm excited. I like subbing for Demi. I'm so glad you guys are here. I have a lot of errands to do today. I'm back at work tomorrow, but the kids are still off school tomorrow. Okay. All right, now we're on color number 4. I'm I'm gonna do the 3/0 brush again, and we're just gonna fill in the space. So there's space for one more brush stroke. And this one's gonna be tough because of that curve. So I might actually, see if I have something that I can tilt this with. Maybe this guy. Okay, I'm gonna try this and see. I'm gonna do the brush stroke and come down right at the tip of my last pattern. All right, and color number 4. Yes, at the top of the, yeah, it's cute. I like it. It just makes it a little taller. Okay, so here we go. Kind of messy. Kind of want it to be a little thicker down here. Oh, it's kind of messy. Okay, let's see how my next one goes. Yeah, this is super messy. Okay, let me see what I can do. I'm not a fan of that. Let's see where my Q-tips are. Let's see if I can fix this. I can take it off the stand now. Sorry, guys. It's kind of messy on my original, but I thought I could fix it. But I'm so not happy with that design. I think if it were a bigger tea light and we weren't quite at the curve yet, it will work better. So sorry. Jana, oh, I like it when you sub too. I like it because we have distinct styles. Oh, that's really nice to hear. It is overwhelming sometimes to follow a bunch of people. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna fix this. A little black paint. And then we're gonna pivot here. Let's see. So what I might try to do is go with my middle pattern and see how it fills in. Just looking for a small brush. I'm gonna use my, it's too small. I'm gonna use my middle pattern here, and we'll try to think of something else that'll work better. So back to Jana. Yeah, I think we do. I definitely learned from Demi, so my style is totally derived from hers, but I was talking to someone at the retreat about, developing your own style. And I do think it's hard. Like you said, there's so much out there. And kind of fighting through that noise. It can sometimes be hard. I know I saw Lauren with Love and Dots is making a course on how to develop your own style or voice or something as an artist, which I don't even know how she's going to teach it. I don't think she knew. She was like, oh, I'm just working through it. It's hard because I don't think it's super easy. I don't know. I think a lot of mandala artists actually aren't classically trained artists like me. I never really took an art class as a kid, or definitely not in college. Okay, that makes me happier that we fixed this, because I was going to be super annoyed if I had to do 6 more of those. Okay, let's fix. Viviana, that is so hard. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? A good way to develop your own style. I think trying lots of different things. So I know, experimenting with new colors and new patterns. I think taking classes is helpful from different people. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna move on here. So let's start. What we're gonna do now is just do this middle pattern, and I'm gonna see how it just fills in, and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna use my shimmering rose. I'm gonna get my tea light or my turntable back, and we'll use our shimmering rose, and I'm gonna make a swoosh right in the middle. So this is on the 1, 2, 3, 4th guide mark, and we'll make a little swoosh there. Okay, back on track here. I know I showed Bree the tea light. She's like, that looks hard. So I guess trying things out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Annette, good morning and happy Easter. Can't paint today, just watching for a while. Hi, Annette. I drove by Prescott, Arizona, and I thought of you. I can't remember, but I thought you were from Prescott. So we're driving from Flagstaff towards Phoenix. Okay, now we're just gonna do, after this last, I've got 2 more ahead of myself. now we're going to do a series of brush strokes. I'm going to use my 3/0 brush, and what I'm going to do is we're just going to work around here. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, we'll try to get 4 brush strokes in. I'm going to start with our darkest color here, so color number 5. I'm just going to get a little bit of paint on here because it's going to be a little brush stroke, just skinny. And hugging that little teardrop we just made. Lakshmi loves this palette. Pink's her favorite color. She painted some rocks for her friends with that palette I mixed because we had a snow day. Yes, yesterday? No, the day before. It snowed so hard. Oh, thanks, Demi. Demi said so pretty. So we were supposed to go back to the Grand Canyon. We'd only gone the first day we were in Arizona, and we had train tickets to go take the train up. And so now I'm going to use color number 4, same brush, and we're just going to hug around that last brush stroke. And come in. So we were driving and it was flurrying in the morning. And we're like, oh, that's fine. I don't drive in snow anymore in Southern California, but I lived in Chicago. I grew up on the East Coast. I'm not afraid of a little bit of snow. But it started coming down so hard and it was super wet snow. And the roads got covered so fast. We were going like 10 miles an hour. The traffic got a little bit wayward there, but that'll get covered in the next stroke. And we turned around like we weren't going to make the train on time, even though we had left plenty of time. It just felt unsafe, and then I wasn't sure about getting home later that day when we came home, so we just did a snow day. So we did crafting, we painted rocks, we played games, we made some jewelry. I had brought my jewelry making supplies. My son actually made a bracelet for my daughter. And now we're out in the country by Dewey, which is 12 miles from Prescott. Can't remember if that was up by the snow, But it was so crazy because we were looking at the weather in Phoenix and it was like 72 and sunny. And there we were in a snowstorm, like only 2 hours north. But that was the worst snow I'd like driven in a long time. All right, and now we're gonna go, now we're gonna go a little bit lower than that last brush stroke and kind of come in. Same brush, just color number 3. Oh, this is kind of messy. These curves are hard, but we're going to fix them with the next brush stroke. This was the one that I just needed to come in to just cover that like stroke that was a little bit off. Just checking to make sure I'm on the right guide mark. So I'm like halfway between the last 2 guide marks here. I'm coming in. Now, if anyone has tips for these super curvy brush strokes, you let me know. I think it's also hard on camera because I think what I would probably do is pick it up and, you know, wait for it to dry. But we're just going to keep moving. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go with color number 2. And we're just going to see if I can just try to fill this space. If you can't, you can do one more, but I'm just going to try to fill that space that I have left with this color number 2. So I'm really pushing to kind of fill that triangular space between the 2 petals, like right in here, and then coming in. And then we'll do something cute in there. Maybe need to switch to a bigger brush. Just grabbing a little bit more paint for these last brush strokes here. And it feels like we have a lot of this lighter color, but we're going to come back and top swoosh it. And the top swooshes definitely can clean up my messy brush strokes here. Oh. Okay. So now we've got kind of our base pattern. So I'd like to fill something in these little spots here while we wait for it to dry. So I'm thinking like little swooshes that kind of curve around like little commas, and maybe we'll do our darkest color. Let's see. So I'm going to put 2 dots there. I'm going to use, and just careful because all the brush strokes are wet, make these little comma teardrops. Could do this with a Nuvo too. I kind of want the darker color. Again, I would probably wait until it's dry. Well, tea lights are hard. Okay. Jana, pretty. I'm glad you think so. Sometimes I'm not sure halfway through. Is it gonna work? Where are we on time? It's only 9. Okay. So we'll do some I like these guys. But again, you could do a little Nuvo swoosh in there. But since we have a lot of that peachy color, I kind of wanted to bring more of this that matches the rhinestone. And if your brush strokes aren't perfect, like right here, that one's messy, I will just go back when it's dry and like fill in that with that color. It's okay. Okay, 4 more. Yeah, that little wonky swoosh. I'll fix it later. So I got a little bit blobby. probably wipe that one up. I don't have any of my pointy Q-tips on my desk. So I also like to wait till it's like almost dry and then just pop it off. Okay, those look good. Tammy, good morning. Jenna, I just had a thought. Use painter's tape to attach your tea light. That way you can pick. Oh, that's a good idea. I wonder though, this is so heavy. I wonder if the tea light would hold with painter's tape. I don't know. I could just see myself being like super confident that it's gonna hold, and then it doesn't. Okay, so now I'm just gonna close up my pink because we're pretty much done with the main design. Tammy said I finally get to see the live. Oh, and it's me, not Demi. But welcome. Okay, so now I'm going to go with my 3/0 brush, and I'm going to, my big brush strokes are too wet right now to go over, but I'm going to go over these right here because they're dry now. And we'll just do, I'll move this down again. I'm like running into my phone stand here. So without smearing everything that I just did, just gonna do a top swoosh here. I'm so much more controlled when I paint away from me. But the problem is, because it's curved, I can't see, so I wouldn't be able to see the guide marks, but I can see the light pink swoosh so much better. There we go. There we go. Almost there. So this is just our flash going on our first brush stroke here. And it looks pretty good. My other brush strokes are still too wet to do any more top brush strokes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to top dot these. Also with the, just going to test the size. Actually, I might do smaller. So with that same flash, I'm going to go with the or and go with the 2. We did the 2.5 for the initials, so we'll just go with the 2. Actually, even smaller. We'll go with the 1.5. And we'll just top dot these. We'll see if anything else is dry enough to do top swooshes. Okay, we're almost done. You can see how different it looks from my original. Just trying to think so I can tell you what I will probably end up doing once this is more dry. So on this last brush stroke of this pattern, I'll definitely, I actually might just top swoosh the whole thing so it's nice and sparkly. Like all the brush strokes. Just add some of this flash. That's probably what I'll do. There. So these are still wet, but I'll top swoosh these 4 with the flash paint, and I think that's it. I don't think I'll do anything else here. Oh, and then, like I said, I'll do like a ring of dots on the bottom of the tea light. And that should like kind of bring the design up. Once this is dry, of course. And it actually helps if you have the rhinestones on, when you flip it over, it kind of sits on the rhinestones so you don't smash any of your design. Yeah, so I think we're done. Any last questions that you have? Kind of looking it on my screen, it looks prettier from afar, I think. And I think once I add those top swooshes to the lighter colors, I think it'll bring it all together. But yes, thanks for painting this Mother's Day tea light. I am gonna wait and paint those top swooshes, and then I'll post it in the group chat so everyone can see. You have to tell me which one you like better. This original one or this one. Oh, thanks, Demi. I hope you have a great day. Thanks, Viviana. Thanks, Annette. Thanks, Jenna. All right. I will see you guys next time. All right. Bye.